I get
Welcome back, everybody, to the Supercoach Hub BBL pod. Tonight, you're on with myself, Scobie Bryant 36, or Nathan, as you know me. We have Daz. How are you, mate? How are you tonight?
good. Thanks, Scopes. Not too bad. What about yourself?
Very good, mate. Very good. I'm a little bit better than Jai Richardson's bowling efforts because he is just up and down fucking custard, mate.
He's
Myth,
got one
how are
more
you?
over.
Oh, he's got one more over. Well, what's the worst that could happen? He could hit for another 36, I'm sure. Myth, how are you tonight, mate?
Oh, not too bad. Happy to be here. Just like you, better than Jai Richardson's bowling. I don't think he'll get a fourth, to be honest, so I think that could be the last we see of him tonight.
Honestly, you could bowl Zach Crawley over him and it'd probably have more effect because Richo is washed. Like, let's just put it out there. And our special guest, thank you so much for joining us, mate. As a little bit of an intro, this is Nakul from Wicky. Is that correct? The company is called Wicky?
That is correct. I haven't been called special in a long time, so I appreciate that.
That's all right, mate. That's all right. No, just all the stuff that you see online, especially on X, and I know I've only flirted with the BBL, I guess, toolkit on there for batsmen and bowlers, but Jesus Christ, you guys have stats for every single sport that you can possibly think of, and it's amazing as well. Also,
I appreciate it.
Give Wicky a follow if you do like to have a little flirt with some spare change here and there, because he does post some very good betting statistics.
Man, I gotta say, what a night to come on, though. I was just gonna say, sorry, my Supercoach team is doing crap this round, and my punting's probably doing worse. But onwards and upwards, let's look forward.
Well, hopefully we can look upwards because, maybe in about 10 minutes, maybe Richo's gotten us all a wicket because I'm fairly sure everybody has him right now. So, yeah, it would be nice if we could all rejoice together. Just as we know, this is the PM crew. We know that we are probably the elite tier of the crews we like to call ourselves. But there is the AM crew with guns, and he does have special guest Max Bryden on tomorrow. So a very accomplished journo, does know a lot of things. He's very in the know with certain things, and a very good journalist as well. But oh god, we've already got a comment from John Smith. Hey Nath, we'll get to this one first. Hey Nath, why didn't you captain Matt Short last round? Even he is your messiah. Interesting. Well, that's a fantastic question because it comes down to two things: overthinking and I was a fuckwit. Simple as that. Simple as that. Like there's no other explanations. Sometimes you overthink things in fantasy sports, and the answer is right in front of your eyes. So yeah, just I was a fuckwit and overthinking. That's literally the only two reasons. Daz, how are you looking for this round, mate? Are you going okay? What's happening? Like,
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I haven't had a chance to sort of look tonight, but I'm hoping your calls. I missed our last pod, but I was able to catch up on the replay, and I found it quite amusing. You bagged the hell out of Agar and bagged the hell out of Cooper Connolly, and they've just absolutely smashed it this round. So Richo's actually on for his last over. He can't get any worse. So I'm hoping the Scobie jinx helps us all out a little bit. But yeah, not too bad of a round, mate. I've got Xavier Bartlett as my captain. So I was sort of hoping he might get a bat, but Nisa and Billings are doing all right at the moment. So it's all going to come down to the end of this and that second inning.
Absolutely, and I dare say he's a good chance to really go through that Perth top order because they didn't look like much scratch the other night against Thunder.
Hopefully.
But I think when you allude to Connolly and Agar, let's just get one thing straight before we move on. They did not just turn into absolute elite spin bowlers. It was that pitch. That pitch was absolutely substandard, disgusting, and pathetic. Like there is genuinely no other way to describe it. Like when you have Cooper Connolly, and no disrespect to him because he's an up and coming talent, but if you're bowling the last over of a game as a death bowler, left arm literal fairy bread, no thank you. That says more about the pitch than anything. But we'll move on. Myth, how are you going this round, mate? What's going on in your team, mate?
I think I'm tracking okay. And like Daz, I'm on Bartlett for the skipper. So I think this next innings is going to be really key because you've got Bartlett's main form, you've got Hardy's main form, and you've got Walter's main form. So yeah, it could be a big swing depending on how those three go.
Yeah.
I'm just checking at the moment. Richo has almost brought his own 50. He's an absolute disgrace. Nakul, how are you going, mate? How's your Supercoach team going?
The season was going really well for the first 5 or 6 rounds. I was up about 1,200 or 300, I think. And then last round, I tried to go for glory. I captained Berendorf instead of Hardy or Matt Short. Didn't work out so well. So now I'm 2,800 gone into this round, and I have made a crucial mistake. Long story short, Munro was meant to be my vice captain, and I subbed him out with a minute to go. I was playing around with my team. It locked out as I was doing that. But it ended up actually being half okay. Matt Short was my captain, and he's probably only going to get like 22 points less than Munro. But I'm tracking okay. I might crack 900. But I was going really well up until a week ago. I probably got a bit over smart, to be honest, but that's right.
No. Don't get me wrong. I admire the ballsy side of captaining someone that's not, I guess, your most spoken about players. I guess, Matt, you're right. Matt Short and Aaron Hardy were the ones that everybody seemed to jump on, but obviously you went Berendorf.
Hey, Richo! Last ball gets a win. Thanks, Scone.
He doesn't even deserve it.
We'll take it.
It was that. I bet you he needed help. Who was it caught by?
He bowled Billings.
Oh, what an achievement that is. Wowee.
What a beautiful ball.
We'll just head to the comments quickly. Corey, thank you so much for always jumping in. Do I get rid of Jack Edwards this round? We'll just go around quickly. That's a solid yes from me. Daz, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, I think so. At his price, you've had the luck. You've had the thing like the role changed a lot. Abbott was out a lot. Tommy Curran was out. Look, he's not the worst hold. It depends, I guess, on your funds and that. I'd be tempted to sell that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think he's made more than enough coin. It's really been surprising. I know he probably hasn't been spoken about as much as he deserves to be spoken about. Honestly, I think he's made 70 odd K, and really put out for owners, which is fantastic. Myth, yes or no? Getting rid of him straight away? Yes.
My answer is it depends. I think coming to the final 2 rounds, you're making a decision of, do you want to consolidate rank? Do you want to try and hold around where you are? Or do you want to try and boom or bust? Drop spots or really try and pick up spots. If you're back in a cashy, for example, and you need to make a few moves to get up there, I'm not against holding him just for more so the pod value. But yeah, I'd be preferring to hold him for the pod value and chuck the E on him if you could, because that role looks a little bit more sketchy at the moment.
Yeah, that's understandable. No, I completely agree with everything you've just said, mate. Nakul, what do you think? Jack Edwards, gone or staying?
Man, I reckon you got to pass him on. I assume he's relatively high ownership. I missed out on him because I thought he just wouldn't get the role. He obviously did end up getting the role, and he's made you money. I'd get him out for a Thunder player with their double coming up.
Yeah, no, I took the words right out of my mouth. Yes, absolutely. So that's yes. John Smith, what are your trades for next rounds? We'll talk to that. We'll get to that soon, actually. That will be a little bit later on. Why do you hate Jai Richo, Nathan? You are a hater. I'm a realist, mate. I would like to think that not a hater, just a realist. If you go through his figures and look how he's bowled, mate, you'll see that he's not how you would, I guess, perceive Jai Richo to be. And for him to get in that ODI squad, yeah, don't know whose naked photo he's got on his phone, but it shouldn't be there. This one's for you, Nakul. Hey, Nakul, are you drinking lassi?
So this glass over here, it's like a huge ass Indian, like a glass that you get in India, and it is actually meant for like a sweet drink called lassi. But no, I've just got water with ice in it. I don't know if I don't want to spill the water, but it's fucking hot and humid in Sydney, so I just get a ton of water, shove ice in it, and drink that all day. So no, mate, unfortunately, I'm being boring.
Unlucky. Has Richo? Oh goodness. We'll say has Richo torn a heartstring? Yes, he has absolutely. And is Matt Short stiff not to get into the test squad? Well, I mean, if Spud Renshaw can get in there, then absolutely he is. We're going to move on to the games that have been played this round. Stars versus Sixers. Did anyone have any interest in this, or was it just a matter of check what score Maxi gets at the end and then decide whether you're going to loop him on or not? Daz, did you sit down and watch this, mate? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, mate. I was happy. I actually straight played Maxwell. I was quite happy to put him in, and it allowed me a little bit better flexibility with who I wanted to flex. Who I wanted to loop later. So I put Maxi straight in. Thought he did all right. A little bit higher would have been okay, but I guess he was on that borderline. Then people had to decide whether they wanted to bring him in, but. Yeah, I was happy with that. What else did we see? Webster didn't go real big, did he? Joyner's low again. Paris low, and your boy Merlot, mate, on the big zero. So
yes, it's interesting.
He did his usual.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that he actually still gets a game, which is interesting. And just to butt in there, I see Nice has just made 64 off 30. So that's going to put a lot of coaches that had him absolutely sky high, because that's
the champ had him. The champ had Agar. He's got a few different ones.
He's got a cheat code.
Good for him.
Yeah, well, only 39 of the top 1% have Nisa, so that's that's insane. That's a nice stat coming from a very good mate in JG. You'll see him on Twitter. He's all over that kind of stuff.
Just back on that other game, mate. Yeah, sorry, I was going to say we just looked at the Stars, but Sixers as well. They're they're struggling a bit this year. Like you've got, I know everyone's ragging on Richo, but Abbott hasn't exactly been setting the world on fire either. Like he scored a 16 Super Coach. I know it's not all about Super Coach points, but he hasn't really had a great season. Philippi 9, and Corey's mate Jack Edwards on 2. So they're not the powerhouse side that we've expected from them. I guess Scorchers aren't either. It's been a little bit different this season for a few of the big gun teams.
And they're still coming 2 and 3 though. The Scorchers and the Sixers.
Yeah, exactly. It just shows you what the rest of them are like. But you're right. They haven't really looked that good. I mean, it'd be scary if they click into gear in a couple of games. But yeah, you're right. They haven't looked that great, but they're still sitting 2 and 3.
I think especially they're the types of players that you may want to be looking at, especially next week with the not having any double game weeks in there. That will be because obviously your single game week players, it really I guess differentiates you from other coaches in doubles, but obviously it does the same thing on singles as well. So if you can nail that single game week player that literally just goes to the moon one week, that pops out a 150 or a 170, it really, really helps you climb those ranks. But we'll move on. Heat and Hurricanes. What did we think of the first game for the Heat? What was there anything that I guess jumped out at us? I mean, anything?
I'm just trying to remember what. Sorry, guys.
You're
what happened in that game. That was the one where I think it rained for a little bit because I was looking at the scores and it was 132 to 116. But that's because it had rained out, and I think the Hurricanes. Ellis was meant to hit 3 off the last ball to win, and he only got a single.
Huge
finish.
Really good game. Good finish.
No, it was a fantastic finish, but it was also, I'm glad you brought that up. It was very interesting Ellis basically blocked it and just, I think it was Dooley, just basically gave it to Dooley so he could have a swing. And yeah, it was, I mean, very interesting tactics. They seem a bit lost, the Hurricanes. I know Jordan's just put out a 170 for Supercoach, which is fantastic for owners. Ben McDermott finally found form, which, I mean, little Hobbit, that's not the best. I actually benched him because I thought surely something will happen and he'll get under, I guess, the 65 after the 16 from his first game, as I was looping with a single game week player, but that obviously didn't happen. Yeah, that was nasty. That, I guess, huge waistline of his decided to power some balls straight, and that was it. But yeah, that was my version of the Heat and the Hurricanes there.
I think just one quick note I was going to make on the Hurricanes. Sorry, I only got back home about a week ago, so I've started watching the games every day. Meredith did his side in the game yesterday, so he's really unlikely to play tomorrow onwards. And Chris Jordan, usually when I'm in Australia at home following the games every day, I'd always look up stats for all the players, right? One thing I missed completely, Chris Jordan had that freak innings a couple of weeks ago, and he backed it up again in the last couple of days with the bat. Right, no one's expecting freaking Chris Jordan to be getting runs. I looked up his stats in the English cricket comps, the Blast and the 100. He actually had quite a few he was like a Michael Nisa, like batting around that 6-7 sort of spot consistently. Like he had 3 or 4 really good innings with a really high strike rate. I wish I'd known that before the tournament, but I thought I'd just put it out there for anyone that's got Jordan still.
And I could be wrong, in short format games from 2023 onwards, is he not averaging like something ridiculous like 30 going at 161?
I had a quick look at his stats. I don't know about his average. All I can tell you that it could be possible because he's actually gotten runs quite consistently. So it makes sense. Because he either wouldn't get it back or he would and he'd do well. So
that's crazy out of 6 or 7 or whatever he comes in at.
Yeah, Supercoach average overseas in the 100 or the Blast or both was quite high. I'm pretty sure it was like 60, 70 plus. But up until this week, I don't think it was too high. But again, you back the roll. Batting 7, bowling death.
Bowling
do
death,
that week in, week out. You seem to.
And with Meredith out, like, you know, who 100% bowl death as well.
Yeah, which is a shame for Meredith. I don't think he was a Supercoach option, but geez, he has been bowling some absolute wheels lately. Some really nice balls that just swing away to the right-hander, which is, I guess, it's nice to see a quick bowler just light things up. Yeah, just to steam in. What about now this, I think, the game of the round, Thunder v Scorchers, purely because of the bullshit pitch that they served up. I mean, what?
I think, to jump in quickly there, I think this is a good one where the Supercoach gods got together up there and were having a few beers and just laughing because some of the most popular Scorchers bowlers not getting wickets. Everyone's benched Connolly and he's bowling 4 and he's bowling the death. People traded out Agar and he's turning them like prime Shane Warne. It was just an absolute kick in the guts for most super coaches. I don't think anyone got out of that game too friendly unless you were an Agar owner or luckily enough to have Connolly on field.
It's just like I'm reading a comment here. When a pitch ain't a road, my God, someone doesn't know their spelling nor grammar. When a pitch ain't a road off batters, it don't mean it's right. No, I just don't think that, like, no disrespect to the players we spoke about before, but when has Agar ever turned a ball in this country?
They were saying on the commentary watching that game that particular game, that pitch, the ball was moving twice as far as any other game this year. I mean, like literally was double movement of what the others was.
But then again,
there's been a few comments and different chats, people saying, "Oh, I'm a former bowler and I loved it, and you know it's great when the pitch is a road. No one complains." But seriously, if you listen to Ricky Ponting on the commentary, he bagged it from the beginning. Like, it was not a proper prepared pitch, and we all know what Agar's like. I think Miz said he looked like Warney. Like, he ain't no Warney. He looked very good. He only got one, which was very weird. I think he only got one over, so they brought him in, and yeah, he only got the one. But yeah, it was very very unusual game, that one, and the pitch was not up to it.
Oh God, no. Yeah, I think we all know my thoughts on that game. Yeah, it was just disgusting. And then I guess the only bloke who actually makes runs on it is
Hales.
Crawley.
Alex Hales. They both got the two tall British openers both got 50s. I thought that was really interesting.
This is not Supercoach related at all, but at the end of the game, the conclusion of it, you could see Hales was having a chat to Laurie Evans and Andrew Ty. And if you're pretty good at lip reading, you can clearly see that old mate was not happy with it at all, because there was a lot of expletives coming out of that tall Englishman's mouth, which was it was nice to see, just a little bit of passion.
I would have been upset if I was his teammate. What did he run out? Three of his teammates on his way to his innings.
Oh yeah, absolute barbecue. Like it was shocking. It was shocking.
It was actually pretty funny because he ran 3 of his teammates out. He scored, 60 or 70 odd, and then didn't field because he done his calf apparently. What a day out for him.
Yeah. I mean, well, if it's anything to go by, he's not the most the nicest fella to have in the changing rooms. I think, it's been a few controversial things he's done, which are each to their own. But yeah, what about, I guess, tonight's game? Does anyone have, just looking at what's been happening, does anyone have, I assume we all have that Spud Jai Richardson. That's... Yep.
Because of what happened with Munro for me around lockout in the first game, I ended up having to switch my team up quite a bit. So I've only got 3 scorchers, and one of them's Sammy White.
Probably a good thing. Probably a good thing. Yeah. Honestly, like I was just of the view that the Scorchers would come in, they would blow past Thunder, and then this would be the game that would be the battle for points. But yeah, it's just hasn't eventuated like that at all. I mean, and we knew that there was going to be rotation, but for them, I would have thought it'd be Morris and Richo that'd get rotated, not Berendorf and Ty. But I mean, Ty's ready to retire anyway, so maybe they're just phasing him out. But who knows? I would have thought Richo for one would definitely get rested, but clearly that didn't eventuate.
Sorry, man. I was just going to say one thing. Pre-game, they showed that graphic. I think they said the average winning total, the Gabba was 172, or something was 100. Like it was meant to be, relatively high scoring, and obviously didn't look like it when the Heat were 5 for 90 odd or whatever they were. I just think like a couple of the guys were saying, do you have any live plays, Wicky? But I won't put anything official out there, but Scorchers are sort of over 350. So I was thinking, I don't know, like from a Supercoach point of view, stupid of me for 10 different reasons, but I don't have Hardy or Inglis. So I've gone against, I was just desperately trying to make ranks, right? But realistically, I'm going to get absolutely stuffed in Supercoach. Everyone who's a little bit worried, I reckon Hardy and Inglis they'll get a lot of runs on this pitch, I reckon, which will be awesome for Supercoach. But I've just, I've had a sneaky look at the Scorchers, close to about $3.70. I'll just put that out there, and I'll let you guys move on.
That's the emotional hedge right there. Don't go Hardy in this, so you bet on the Scorchers, because if the Scorchers get home, those are the two that are going to do the damage.
Xavier's going to wreck through them. Hold your money, Xavier's going to put on a clinic.
Oh, goodness.
Whiteman's a ton
Hopefully Bartlett goes wicketless. Tall Paul takes 9, and Zach Crawley makes 100. So that would be wonderful. We'll get into this. Is our actually. We will read some comments. Jesus Christ, there's a fair few of them. I don't know how many we're actually going to be able to read.
Mate, I'm quite impressed, Scopes. I'm quite impressed you haven't mentioned your next man behind Matty Short, the Joe. Surprised you haven't looked him up. How well he went, especially that first game.
I can't believe how crap the Hurricanes are. And every round there's talk around, is the Chode going to get picked? Is he going to get picked? No, he's going to get dropped. Wade will come back in for him. He's no chance to play. He is their best player, hands down. He will win their MVP. Who have they got as bowlers? What, Ellis that gets junk and goes for 13 and over? Jordan's been good, absolutely. Meredith's injured, but hasn't taken wickets. Who else do they have? What, Paddy Dooley? Nah. No.
It's been his batting I've been impressed with. It's been his batting. He can really bat.
He has been fantastic, and he's probably cash cow of the year, honestly. He has just been fantastic. And the shots where it's angling into middle and leg, and he just whips it. He flicks it so hard. I guess it's more of a very generalising, but it's more of an Indian way to play. Just with his hands, and he just whips it, and it just goes.
I thought you guys knew your cricket. You haven't mentioned the Hurricanes MVP for the season, Sammy Hain.
Oh.
I was not going to say a thing about it, but I think someone actually brought Sammy Hain in on the double, didn't they?
He's the dead spit of the week. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Oh, Nakul, just wait. We'll get to it.
Winding you up.
I'm giving it away. Yeah.
I like it. We'll read some of the comments. I reckon Matt Short might be the worst player ever to play. Wow, that bloke's clearly ranked like 7K. We know who that is.
Here's something interesting for you, Scopes. I think he's going to be about 332,000.
Yes.
And from what we understand, Stoyne at 346,000 is the highest ever BBL Supercoach price. So Matty Short's quite a big chance to go the highest ever.
So in round 12,
in a season like this, that's crazy.
In round 12 in the 2018-19 season, Stoyne has got to 346.5k. Matt Short is at his price with a negative break even and will eclipse that and will be rightly crowned the most expensive player.
I can't see the comments, but I bet you that's Corey.
What's that, sorry?
Was that Corey's comments?
No, that's me. That's all from the
brain. Oh, that's you.
Yeah,
you're all over it.
For once. No, Neeson needs to be drug tested immediately. He might be the Heat version of Clayton Oliver. I mean, he's absolutely on fire. Oh, God, we can't read half of these.
A little bit.
Matty Gilkes, captain next round. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's living on the edge.
Brainer.
If you're losing, he'll be dropped.
Yeah, I highly doubt he plays. Do we trade out your beloved Scobie? If you're talking about the Chode or Short, it's a definite no. Is McAndrew a lock? Liam says so. Honestly, there will be one Thunder player that no one talks of, that no one hypes up, that will just pop in a double game week because it always happens. I can remember, I think it was either last year or the year before, Sandhu went absolutely bananas. I don't know what he scored in the end, but I was very fortunate to have him. It was one of those last, you've got 2 minutes and you don't have the cash available to bring in who you want, so you've got to settle for second best. And it just worked out.
I was just going to say very quickly on McAndrew, sorry. We discussed that in our pod earlier today. I didn't think of him originally, to be really honest, but I was having a chat through trades, and if you don't have Sams, you're either going to bring him in next round or the round after when they're Thunder have their double. If you do bring him in this round, you're probably going to be screwed for cash because I think he's about 230 or roughly 225, 230K, right? So if you do that, you're probably going to be screwed for cash, and you might need to pick up another Thunder player around that 100K. And if McAndrew, still bats around that sort of 7 spot, gets his overs, he might not be the worst pick. He could be that guy that just sort of creeps up out of nowhere and ends up getting a couple of wickets and a quick 20.
Absolutely. And I think, I don't know about you gentlemen, but when you're trying to differentiate between players, I kind of lean on the edge of the bowler just because we know a wicket is worth 20. And as we saw and I hate to bring it up again, Nakul, but the double, Sammy Hain had 2 cracks at it and both ducks, and he was shithouse. The Hurricanes were robbed by DLS. Yeah, I mean, that's debatable. Dacos lock for next round. If you're not perma captaining Nick Dacos, I don't know what you're doing. Matt Short is a must trade. You're a peanut. Chowdhury is the greatest Indian cricketer of all time. Yeah, I mean, he's up there, I guess. I mean, you've got some pretty big names to go along with it. My personal favourite, Rohit Sharma, because he's captain of Mumbai and Mumbai through and through. Live bets for us, Wicky. We've already been over that. Why did you bench Ben McDermott, Nathan? Because he scored 16 in the first game, and I thought I would be smart enough and get away with it. But turns out he's had his only one good innings for the season, and it just so happened to ream me. I picked Johnson over Jordan this week and benched Connolly this week.
He scored 60 the week before, anyway.
Yeah. It's not too bad. Johnson can still return. Question for the myth: what is your skincare routine?
That boy, Frozen Thunder.
Yes,
just jump in the ocean, mate. You never been there, have you? You'll
just
know.
jump in the ocean. I like that.
Just jump in the ocean. Gold Coast, got to enjoy the weather when it's not storming.
Right. Do we all have Chowdhury on field? Did we all have the chode this week? No.
Yeah. Only because of other fuck-ups, yes.
Okay, no, fair enough. Daz, was it?
Don't own him.
You didn't have him originally, did you?
No, don't own him. I didn't agree with the NPR to start with, and he's turned into something good. No, I've looked at him a few times, but no, don't own him.
Yep. No,
too late now.
Understandable. Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely. Gurinder, G-Train Sandrew must in next week. No, definitely not a must. But
there's lots of must-ins.
Yeah, there will be someone around that price that just pops and will be in like 3% of teams. And if you're lucky enough to jump on that, you will absolutely skyrocket. Oh God, we can't say that.
You're gonna be going for a while, I think, mate.
We've done Wicky's live bets. Honestly, don't put your house on it, but just flutter a 50 on there, you'll be fine. I'm a fan of your fan, Nath. That's wonderful. It's a nice fan. Does the job. But oh God, we will be going for a while. Yep. No, we can't say that. I bet my nut Scoob won't buy Sandu. Maybe soon. Wicky, this one's for you, Wicky, and this is alluding to a fantastic story that I can't actually say because it's not appropriate for this. But Wicky, have you ever bet on a three-legged greyhound before? Whether that's knowingly or unintentionally.
You know what? I love that they brought that up. I don't really bet on the greyhounds unless I've had way too much to drink. But if it was the right price, fuck yeah, why not?
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. We'll keep one last one, Scopes. Can we get a hairline check? Yes, we can. This is starting to turn into something a bit weird. I don't know why, but
hair, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not bald yet. We might be in maybe about 20 years time. It's 18. I don't know. Depends how stressful.
Man, it creeps up on you.
But, yes. No, I'm sure you did have a nice, flourishing, full head of hair back in the day, mate.
I did a week ago and I shaved it, mate. I'm not actually bald. It's all good.
There we go. We're going to move on to the next segment. Now, this is where we already alluded to your Sam Hain pick, but we like to call this one the dead shit of the week. Player we own that hurt us the most. We also have the moral victory. This is dedicated to all our Pommy friends. Looked good, scored poorly though. Gun of the week. Player we own that helped us the most and didn't offer a shot. Player we don't own that bowled us over this week. So, Daz, why don't you kick us off, mate? Who's your dead shit of the week?
Well, the secret was out earlier. It's Mr. Hain from the Hurricanes. So I sort of wanted someone a little bit of a super pod, and I sort of looked into it. I got those Laurie Evans vibes happening with him, and I blame Laurie Evans from the round before, thinking something was going off. So a little bit of a saving grace. I left him on my bench as my emergency, so I didn't have to play him. But a pair of duck eggs. He's still the dead shit of the week.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I will admit I didn't even look at him at all. I was just Hurricanes are disgusting. I don't want to bar with them, but obviously
I thought the tracks were going to be some runs. The tracks they were batting on they were playing on. Sorry, looked like they were going to be batters tracks. So I thought, all right, I'll take a swing at him. He's cheap. I'll leave him on the bench. See how we go. To be honest, I'm sort of hopeful Wade comes back next game and they drop him and he might be a loose. Although I do think they play early in the round, so even that probably won't work. So he might just have to rot on my bench. But you're a dead shit, Hayne.
Yeah, he was shit, wasn't he? Well, there you go, dead shit of the week, Sam Hayne, perfect. Myth, who was your dead shit, mate?
Fuck, it's hard to top a bloke that's got 2 ducks.
Yeah, isn't it? Oh, Jai Richardson, surely. That's my dead shit of the week.
That's probably where I'm going as well. For a bloke that I was willing to pay $247K for up until final team lists to get, 50, 60 points across 2 doubles. What was it? No, 65 last week and then like 30 odd this week. He's better than that. He's better than that. Just terrible from Giant. It's probably going to stay on my side, which will be interesting.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, at least from Ty, when he's not playing, he's not going to drop as much cash. But when you've got Richo, who's literally, you might as well just buy fucking underarm, mate. Because Jesus Christ. Nakul, who's your dead shit of the week, mate?
Just to clarify, by the way, I don't actually have Hayne. I just wanted to point him out. But I've got one that's not too much. Yeah, that's not too much better. Trust me. So I was weighing up. Do I go Caleb Jewell or Mac Wright? It ended up not mattering because they're both shit. But I went with Jewell, and he broke my heart in a bit of a different way to Hayne, where he creamed one. I forgot what shot it was, but he smacked the 4, and I'm thinking, fuck yeah, he's on. Opening for the Canes, let's do this. And then he got 9 points across 2 games. So that's my dead shit of the week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Dropped the catch as well, didn't he? He dropped Ellis's 3 far.
Oh, he did. Fuck me. And I've got Ellis as well. So I'm pretty sure
he's really got you then.
Mac Wright got fucking 3 catches in that game. Jewell ends up on 9 points. He does fuck all. Yeah.
Yep.
But with the Canes though, like the bowling's been pretty trash, and the batting, even on he gets the double. The batsman outside of McDermott in his second game was shit, and all the bowlers were cleaning up that bat. So what do you do?
Relegate him. Get rid of him. My goodness. This is a special comment. My dead shit is C. Richo. Oh, that's unlucky. That's from John Smith, but I think I know who that actually is. He has a sweet smile, is a beautiful, caring human, and I hope his Supercoach luck turns around because he's absolutely gorgeous. Moral victory. Who looked good and scored poorly? Who was it? Daz, start us off, mate. Who looked fantastic, but literally their points were shocking?
Well, mate, I believe he's the second Indian-born player to ever play in the BBL, mate. Is the Chad? I don't have him, so he's my moral victory. I mean, he's Indian, but that's almost the same as England, isn't it? I believe there's a lot of Indians in England, so I'm going the Chad. And also, mate, the second innings, is he the only guy to ever be for a diamond duck? So he sort of ticks a lot of boxes. I don't own him, but God, he's good to watch. I really enjoy watching him.
No, he's fantastic, and I really enjoy the little segments he's had previously with Brett Lee as well. It's been very wholesome and heartwarming. Shows that there's a little bit more.
It's a pretty cool story. Yeah, if you watch his interview, I think he was saying that he came here during COVID, worked at Aussie Post, worked at a Mexican restaurant, just playing grade cricket or whatever, and James Hope saw him. Pretty cool story.
It's It's
awesome.
insane. But, I mean, it just goes to show that Ricky Ponting, even though they're probably not doing as well as he'd like, that man is an absolute genius for talent.
He's a gun.
Myth, who's your moral victory, mate? Who looked good and scored poorly?
I think Ty. I thought on that pitch he was bowling, aside from a few throwdowns that he threw on the first over that got smashed for 6, I believe, off Kohler Cadmore. After that, he was making use of that pitch. They were basically bowling 110, 120 off spin and couldn't get a wicket. I don't think he's been rested in 4 or 5 BBL seasons, and he gets rested tonight. I think out of all the Scorchers bowlers, if you had to say one who's going to play all 4 games, everyone would have said AJ Ty. And
Absolutely.
I plays all 4. Agar with the calf before the season plays all 4. Lance Morris.
Mackenzie plays both.
It just
Lance had a neck injury, played all 4, so yeah.
Couldn't predict that.
No. I mean, I jokingly sent in that Hamish Mackenzie would be the double game week top scorer from Perth, and I mean, at least he played both games. It's
He had a
just
chance to do it.
Yeah, I think that's something we also need to consider with these, I'm going to say, better teams, especially in the Scorchers, just because, I mean, it seems as if their stocks are just incredible.
Yeah.
So if someone just goes out or they have a rest, they just bring someone who's, I guess, not mid-table compared to others, but just around that mark. It's quite impressive. They're a very, very good side. A very good side. Nakul, who was your moral victory, mate?
Look, mine was Matt Short, and I know it sounds a little bit silly, but as I keep saying, I stuffed up with Munro, so I had to captain Matt Short. And when he was on like 35 or 15 or whatever the fuck he was, I was like, hell yeah. Surprisingly, I'm going to make up all that ground. A stupid mistake is actually not going to cost me. And then he gets 5 or 15, doesn't reach 50, and ends up on 66. So that's my fucking moral victory for the week.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There's nothing to add to that, mate. I guess mine is looked good, scored poorly. I'm gonna say just Perth bowlers in general. I mean, Richo has been absolutely disgusting this BBL. He has been absolutely pathetic. Ty, you would just bank on him getting junk. Well, he's not even playing. He was getting absolutely smacked by Kohler Cadmore from the Thunder last game, and he was bowling these cheeky little offies they'd spin and pop, but they just go so quick to the fence. And Hales was just launching him as well. Morris, he bowled 1 over and got a run out. Wowee, if that's not a rest, then I don't know what is. And tonight, I mean, Nisa just absolutely spanked him. So, yeah, in parts they looked really, really good, but they scored shithouse. And the gun of the week, player that we own that helped us the most. Who is that player that's really, really set our teams up? Like, that's, I guess, pointed us above where we needed to go. Just put us into that little echelon above where we'd like to be. Who's our gun of the week? Daz, who is it?
Your mate Benny McDermott, mate. He's that second game performance was awesome. I did have another one, but it's a bit hard going live. I'm hoping Xavier is my second gun as my captain. So one of those two, hopefully. Well, McDermott definitely, and hopefully Xavier.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Myth, player we own that helped us the most.
I'm going to give dual winners a little bit here because twice I had the opportunity to take Maxi's 65. First time I took it, I gambled Chowdhury on field. Beautiful. That was an extra 60 points. And then when Dorf got rested, I had the option of either take Maxi's points and have Sutherland or take him on with big bad Jamie Overton. Again, took Overton because I figured he'd be more useful to have next week and an extra 60 points again. So those two would be my big guns of the week.
Yeah, I like that. Like that a lot. Nakul, who was your gun of the week, mate?
Man, the myth stole my answer. Same thing, Jamie Overton,
Yep.
and same situation. I had Berendorf. He was dog shit for me last week as captain. I was more than happy to trade him or undo my trade or whatever I did. And Ellison, Chowdhury, and Overton, they all got 120 odd, but Overton got in one game. So I saved my ass from having an atrocious score to a shit score this round.
Oh, I like that little upgrade. My gun of the week is the Chode. Honestly, I literally had him as E, didn't even think about looping him on, and then after the game I was like, hang on, I can work this, and it's not going to be too detrimental, but it will work out well. So easily Nakul Chowdhury, absolute superstar. That's wonderful. We do have our last category. Didn't offer a shot. Player we don't own that bowled us over this week. So who's one player that's really, I guess, really stitched us up that we don't own? That's really done well. Daz, what about you, mate?
Well, mate, I was hoping that we could have seen the Wicky stats and his ranked the players to get in this week, and we had Air Jordan on there. So it's Chris Jordan that I missed, mate. But I didn't own, and highest scorer for the round. He was just fantastic. Like you said, Ken Bat bowls those death overs. Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Gun outfielder as well, I'll say.
Yeah.
He's always in the hot spots.
So safe. He doesn't really drop catches, and he's in those spots. So, yeah, hindsight. But he's the one that didn't offer a shot that I didn't have. So good on those that had him.
Yeah, same boat, mate. Same boat. Absolutely agree. Chris Jordan, spot on. Myth, who gets your nomination, mate?
I'll have a little correction for Daz there. The highest score of the week so far, the Loch Nessa monster looks like he could do some damage here. He's
right.
A lot of us avoided him, didn't we? And
mate, Andrew Lane, my machine. My God.
Yeah, like who knew he suddenly started to bowl? He must have stopped pissing in Munro's coffee, and he's giving him a bowl for once, and he's just taking advantage of it. And then, 100 points with the bat tonight?
Wow.
Yeah,
he's done well,
and he's going to hurt a few of us, I think. And a wicket early. That's a lot of points.
Crawley's out early for 13. Nisa bowled him, and Spencer Johnson catch. So there you go. That obviously helps his points as well. What about you, Nakul?
Look, technically, I'm not answering the question exactly as I should, but I've got two guys who are on the page for me. So every time I look at my app or my fucking thing on my desktop, I'm seeing these two guys. I'm seeing Connolly on the emergency, and I'm seeing Munro, and I've got neither of their scores. So it's a fucking massive tease. So I do have them, but their scores aren't counting. So I'm going to count both of them.
No, completely understandable, mate. Completely understandable. Ooh. It's a little bit stiff when that happens. We're going to have a look at the comments if obviously we can read them. Dangerous, right? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, we got up to Wicky betting on a 3-legged greyhound. That was right. I do like, this is a nice comment. The Surf 420, my dead shit of the round is Kuhneman/Ty. My lowest score is currently. Honourable mention to the Brisbane Rain and Fox Cricket for having that Vaughan on commentary. I completely agree. Mate. Oh, goodness. Well, I guess
some of these comments, you can't read them out, but geez, they're good.
Oh, they're quality. I guess my extracurricular activities depend on if Hardy makes more than 10 or not. Someone's not very happy with Stan Lake. That's understandable. My voice has someone bricked up. That's wonderful. Someone has a C on English. That's interesting. He looked fantastic. Some of those shots on that disgusting pitch that he was playing were absolutely phenomenal. Trading Overton was a killer this week. Yeah, Corey, that last LBW was controversial, but, that's just what happens in fantasy sports, mate. Jesus. Nice is currently on 184 currently. Oh, goodness.
Jeez.
Josh Garlick, honourable mention. You have had some cracking comments, but God, we can't read them out.
Lots of
yeah,
drinking
right.
on a school night out there.
What's that, sorry?
Lots of drinking on a school night out there by some of these comments.
Yeah. Well,
On a
Overton,
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
yeah, oh, goodness. Yeah, right. Where are we? Well, we're going to move on to buys for next week. It's a single game week. We all understand and realise that. Who are we thinking for next week? Are we going to be loading it up with Thunder players? Because obviously they're the team with the last double. What are we thinking regarding that? Who do you have currently from the Thunder? And are you looking to add any more, mate?
Mate, I have 0 from the Thunder. I'm one of the 58% of the top 1% that sold Overton. I didn't sell him originally, but then when I had to do loop and different things, I ended up getting him out. I wasn't going to play him. So yeah, he's one I'm certainly looking at to bring back. Superpod maybe Smudge, Steve Smith, if you've got a bit of money. It's a lot of money for a one game, but yeah, then I guess just looking at Thunder players, do you look at a Tom Curran? You know, what do you do for that single round? There's quite a few different options, and I think it's team specific and what you want. I don't have any Thunder, so I'm going to have to get at least one, if not more, and just work it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, mate. It just it seems as if like they're not the team you kind of want to be jumping into completely. That being the Thunder, but as we spoke about earlier, this is the time where if you nail that single game week player that absolutely goes bananas, you will just shoot through the ranks. But it's going to be very hard, and it's also interesting as well to just go through the players. Like, just have a look at what people have been scoring and their prices, because you will be surprised. Like, you'll see sometimes that a player that you think that you really, really want, you just can't obtain. That's just what you have in your head. But it's not the start of the season anymore. They're not at their starting prices. Like, after tonight, Jai Richardson started the season at 247k. He's not going to be worth 47k after tonight. And obviously that's a bit of a stretch, but he's just, absolute horse crap. But you can see where, I guess, the varying prices come from. So if you're not sure on someone, have a look into it. Just see why they might be that price. There's probably a decent reason for it. What about you, Myth? Who are you looking to bring in? Are we just loading up on Thunder players or not?
I won't be going too hard on Thunder players yet.
Yep.
I think I looked at my side and I've got Bartlett and Walter there, who I want to hold both for next round. So I know come round 9, it should be pretty easy to use those two to get whichever Thunder players I want. Yep. I've already got Tanvir. I might look at a cheap Thunder bat. If Kohler Cadmore stays in the front 3, he looks like a fun one just to take a flyer on. Just chuck him on the bat loop, potentially, try and set it up that way. But I think a big thing for me will depend on what Chowdhury does and what McDermott does. Those two will be on the loops early. There'll be a VC probably on Matt Short. So it'll be then look what those three do and then make some decisions from there, I would say most likely. But, looking pod hunting, and I think Kohler Cadmore's one that might be at the top of that list if he's batting top 3. If he slides to 4 with Warner, then I'll look elsewhere.
That will be interesting. Like, do we just jump on Warner straight away? I mean, there's all this talk that he's
helicopter.
That he's just going to magically, get dropped off across the road. If he's in there, do you just automatically put him in at 125? I know you brought it up, Myth, so you can answer it. Do you just slot him straight in?
I might. I don't think it's a bad option. I mean, white ball form's pretty good. Did pretty well in the World Cup. Did just hit a 50 off his last test innings. We know he's good enough. He's got the class. He's good.
When he came in around the same time last year and did nothing. Did he come in out of form then? In form then? I can't remember.
I'm not too sure.
He went up in the Ashes. No,
He
I
did
remember
nothing.
picking him over
I
Smudge.
brought him in, so I remember he did nothing.
All I can remember last year is the bloke that came second. He was one of very few that obviously when Langley won it again, the bloke that came second, he was very big on Smudge and brought him in, paid top dollar, and that literally got him almost first. Yeah. What about yourself, Nakul? What are you thinking, mate? Are you wanting to have 5 or 6 Thunder players, or is that just a little bit
Yep.
overkill?
That's how I've played. That's how I played the season until I got over smart, tried to fuck around, and then lost like 1,500 ranks real quick. So my instinct tells me to keep backing myself as I was early in the year and just play the fixtures. But I don't think like if I go 3 Thunder now and 3 Thunder again, there aren't 6 Thunder players I really want. So I think I'll end up going 2 Thunder and then going for a bit of a pod with that last one. To see, I guess, someone that's a big upside. And I think like with Warner, by the way, he's 125k, so he's like relatively affordable, which makes him like a really, I don't know, it's like a really easy option if you do want him. But I think for me, like the one I will be bringing in is Sam's though. Like I want to get him in ASAP, unless there's any weather concerns. So, and this is what I was discussing on the pod. If you bring in Sam's and he's super expensive, doesn't leave you much budget for your other 2 trades. So, yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I think it would just depend on how much money I've got for that last trade, and if I can do anything quirky with that last trade, I will. Otherwise, I might just go play the fixtures and bring in my 3 Thunder guys.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I think just to add on, especially, I love how you touched on Sam's. You'd be a very brave person not to bring Sam's in and either VC or C, just straight up. I know we've had guests on in the past that VC is irrelevant to them and they just slap the C on them straight away, and that's how they play. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think you would be very ballsy not to go on to Daniel Sams there. Who are we going for the C and VC? Is it just, do we take a fly at someone? I know people like to, I guess they like to really have a stab in the dark with their VC and then go someone a little bit more popular, a little bit more consistent with the C, say a Matt Short or even a Hardy or Sams or whatnot. But is anyone thinking of just a completely random VC? Is that on the cards? Daz, what are you thinking, mate? Are you just going to play straight back to this one?
No, mate, you got the strikers in that first game against Hobart, who really aren't that good.
Yep.
It's Matt Short or Overton. Take your pick, I guess, on which VC, and just sort of looking at the fixtures after that. For me, I'd probably look towards a Perth or a Brisbane player if my VC didn't go real well to see after that. But that's the way I'm looking at it.
Yep. No, I completely agree. Corey's just put in, I would go Short into a Curran, as Curran has a great record against Thunder. So, yep, that's wonderful. I mean, fairly sure Curran and Abbott both have a great record against the Thunder. But
or yours, brother.
Yeah, I mean,
Not for me.
Interesting there. Myth, who are you thinking, mate?
I think the VC is going to go on Matt Short. It's just, I would like to have zagged with a VC this week. I think it would be a great opportunity to. Just with the fixtures, though, he's going to be so highly vice captain that if you don't own him, you're basically death riding him. I've done enough of that. I did that once. I'm sick of death riding him. He's got the VC for me. The captaincy, I'm suspecting I won't have to think about it, but Curran, I don't mind that as a shout. I don't. And then Glenn Maxwell playing the Gades at Marvel. Yeah, he's probably a pretty good backup, I'd say, at the moment. That'll probably be my plan, but I'll take a look at the ownership numbers and really have a look at what happens after game 1.
Yeah, I mean, well, hopefully it'll just be for myself, it'll just be Matt Short into Quinton de Kock. I haven't seemed to be able to get rid of that South African fella out of my team. I've been wanting to so badly because he's just
love him, mate. You love him.
He's been him and Richo have just been the pinnacle of shit. So yeah, Nakul, who are you going, mate? Are you looking at Matt Short or maybe an Overton, or get a little bit funky and go a Harry Nielsen? What are you thinking, mate?
Well, I just have the fixtures in front of me, right? Fuck me. No. So what I was thinking was Matt Short into, say, a Glenn Maxwell or a Sam's, like VC Short, Matt Short into Sam's or Maxwell. That's like your stock standard. As I keep saying, though, at this point of the season, I've screwed my season. So I'm going to have some fun with this. I'm thinking, obviously, Matt Short is like by far the best player, right? But if there's no doubles and there's no buys and stuff, you could very easily still VC someone from the second game and then still captain like a Maxwell. So as I keep saying, I'm going to try to do something different. So one of the ridiculous things that I've thought about, because Shane, who does the podcast with us for Wicky, he thought of bringing Steve Smith just for the one game. Yeah. So if there's no rain concern, this is like, I might not do this, but I'm just putting it out there just for everyone to have a think about it. He's going to be super expensive, like $275 or whatever. Yeah. So if I do it, bring Steve Smith in, VC him, and then you could obviously go Captain Maxwell still. But it'd be a huge risk. I'll have to see how many ranks I lose this week, and if I'm going crazy, I might just do it. But yeah, that's the sensible and the crazy option.
How would you even facilitate those trades, though? Is it three, decent players out, and then you're bringing in, obviously, Smith at almost 300K?
Yep. So I've got Jamie Overton at 190, who will go up in price, for example, and I've got 60K in the bank. So that gets me to 250.
Okay. Yeah.
So pretty much I can go Overton to Steve Smith straight away. So I guess I'm a little bit lucky. And then Smith goes straight into like a Sam's if I don't bring Sam's in next round. But it's actually not as bad as you think. It's just a crazy option. And if I'm feeling like it, I might just do it and see.
No, it's completely valid. Completely valid. It's just, sorry, some of these comments we're getting, Joshy boys going absolutely bananas, and some of them are a little bit, obviously we can't say them, but let's just, if you're just listening to the audio on a playback now, just drop into when we go live next, and you'll understand what I mean, because there's some good ones in here. But no, Nakul, I love the fact that that's, like, when you think of Steve Smith, he's coming for one game. Like, you could seriously jump so many ranks if he pops. He scored back-to-back tons.
No one's going to have him.
No, he scored back-to-back tons last year. And I know number 2 last year that finished, obviously, as I've said before, second. I'm fairly sure he captained him for one of the tons. I could be wrong. But it just shows, I guess, the variance and the elevation you get simply by bringing one player in, which is just insane.
Yeah, and I will just say very quickly, they're playing at the SCG. Steve Smith's about to open the batting for Australia. He'll be opening the batting here, so it's a really nice run-in for him. And they play the Thunder, who just dog shit bowling attack. So I think, look, I'm talking myself into it slowly, but I'm just
why not? Why not?
Just game one, don't watch Matt Short play.
Yeah, like it's just. There's one like you wouldn't
couch to hide behind.
What would you need? What would you need from Short to take it?
Oh, that's a good question.
VC Matt Short, and then if it doesn't go well, then Captain Smith. If you bring him in, is that what you're saying?
You've got Matt Short there with the VC on him, and you've got Steve Smith. Well, Steve Smith would be under him, wouldn't he? Because Short's at a higher price. So to the right of him, and you've got the C on him. What would you need from Short in order to change the C from Smith to a loop?
Hardy, just hold out, boys.
Oh, who got him?
Tall Paul, of course.
Oh, yes. Who to?
Huh?
Who caught it?
Sure.
I will. I'll have a look.
Coon.
The Coon. Love that. That's wonderful. Well, I guess Hardy made over 10, so I know what I'm doing for the rest of the night. Joshy boy, I'll see you soon. That's wonderful. But no, we'll get back to it. Nakul, what would you need from Short to not take him as the C?
Well, the way that I planned it, I was going to go Smith VC C Maxwell, which is probably stupid. I probably should do the Matt Short VC into Smith captain actually. But I reckon if Matt Short scores a 50, with a good strike rate, I don't know how many points that is, but if he gets like 80, 90 points or above, you'd really, I don't know. Like, I haven't actually been in that situation of having that awkward VC, to be honest. But I reckon if he gets a quick fire 50 and a wicket, then it would be just ridiculous to not lock his score in. But I reckon anything less than that, like, what's he got this time? Like a 60-odd point. I'd still back in Smith as a huge pod. As I keep saying, like, I reckon if you're in the top 1%, 2%, and you're really happy with your rank, then you probably don't want to fuck around too much. But I'm just so frustrated going down to almost 3,000 now that I'm just like, there's no difference between 3 and 3.5 or 4. So that's why I'm being a little bit more gutsy, I guess, at this point.
As long as you can be Matt Short, I reckon you've got nothing to lose. Like,
true.
If you can do it without having to bring Smudge in before that first game, and then you can look and see what Matt Short does, then you can decide with your funds maybe. But yeah, it's not. I wasn't real big on Smudge for 275k, but I actually don't mind I don't mind that logic.
When I heard it, I thought it was a bit silly, and then the more I talk about it, I'm like.
He's one of the best. He's one of the best players in the Big Bash that's going to be owned by less than 10% of the people at the top.
900 people own him currently, I think. So yeah.
And the people that own him now probably aren't the ones at the top. So it's if you can get him and you can do it without breaking your team, it's hard to find a much better pod, really. Like what? I guess maybe the only concern I'd have if getting Smudge is if they bat second. And if they do roll the Thunder for 130, 140, then he's not chasing much and it limits his ceiling. But if he's batting first, I reckon all systems go. Get him in if you can. I don't think I can quite get him because I'd prefer to get a few players out rather than players out, which I need to do to afford him. But if you can do it.
Yep. And just to confirm, he's owned by 0.0% of the top 10 Supercoach players.
So, literally fucking no one.
Those teams that he's in anyway. Is he here just for the one game, though? You'd have to get him
just
in.
For one game.
Just for one, and then he's out. Yeah.
He goes to Sam's with some change.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Which is, I really like that, actually. I like that a lot. That's it's ballsy, but that's what'll take you from, I guess, say if you're at 1K, if it goes well, that'll take you to top 250. If it doesn't, you could be looking at, 2,500. We'll have a question from the Discord. Who is the best enough to bring in this week as all the teams are on a single? Now, just looking at it, I mean, Melbourne Renegades play last. So would it not just be Harry Dixon? Is that not a fair shout? Bat?
I think you guys Hugh Bowden.
Is that the Heat?
Brisbane
Yeah.
Heat, Jewel. Third game this week, doesn't play next week.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is you want to be bringing enough that then plays. And so with the Heat playing a third game, it'll give you enough time to at least get out of him. With Dixon, the Gate season is in the toilet. They've just debuted a guy last week. What's stopping them debuting another one and resting some of the fossils they've got on their side?
Isn't he the young fella though?
I think he's young fella, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he got picked for is it the under-19 World Cup team? I think I could be wrong though. Yeah. But obviously he's not DPP. Yeah, I think as you said, Burden, Dixon, or even Salzman, honestly, if you just want the first one, if you just need a Matt Short loop, just go for that. That's about it.
It's Hugo. It's Hugo all the way, mate. You can be certain with Hugo Burton.
Perfect. I love that. Next one. Last one, actually. Why Joel Paris and Spencer Johnson should be picked over Jai Richardson in the white ball squad. Wow.
I saw this.
There's a bit of a backstory to that.
I don't know what the backstory currently is, but Joel Paris bowls left arm shite and Spencer Johnson bowls left arm faster shite and Jai Richardson bowls right arm shite. So either I wouldn't have all three of them in there.
I can fill you in on the backstory if you want.
Go, please. Please let me know.
A fair bit of chatter today, this afternoon, with regards to Jai Richardson, and one of the Stars members, Triple T, I think it is, was very big on bagging out Jai Richardson, and there was quite a few defending it. I'll put my hand up. I was one of the ones defending it, saying Jai deserved his spot in the one day team. But after tonight, I'll put my hand up and say I was wrong. So, but Triple T being a Stars man, we all started saying, I suppose you'd think Paris is a better option than Richo. So that's how that come about. But you wouldn't want any of them at the moment. But do you think Richo's injured, or do we think he's just out of form? Like,
he can't be full strength.
How do you fall?
When has he ever bowled a ball that had intent? It's just up and down, either half track shit on the hip or full toss genuine fairy bread. It's crap.
It's not looking good. Sorry, Nakul, what did you say?
I was look. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I used to watch a lot of BBL every game since it started, whatever, pretty much, right? But I haven't watched this BBL until about 4 or 5 days ago. And what struck me with Jesus Christ, if you're watching the game, that was hilarious. Sorry, with Jai Richardson, he looked like, from what I remember of him for the last 5 years, he was like almost skinny and just like lean muscle and just like electric, like fast twitch kind of guy. I used to love watching him bowl, right? This year, he just looks like almost like a tad chubby. It's almost like he's just like lethargic. And like, I haven't looked at his speeds. He just doesn't look electric at all. And I've got to say, that's got to be something injury related. There's no way one of the quickest, most electric bowlers in the country just starts bowling crap and just looks off pace a little bit. Have you guys noticed that this season, or am I
do you reckon he's just stopping for maybe a cheeky pie and a drink before each game here and there? I don't know. He's always been one of those players that you think, like, if you have the option to select Richo, you select him.
You take it.
You just take it. But now it's just like,
he's very much hurt a lot of people in previous seasons. I think he had a 260 early last year on the double, and he can do that.
Yeah,
and he hasn't looked even close to that this season.
15 wickets in 7 games last year, and then next to nothing this year. They were saying, I believe he's changed his run up a little bit. I don't know whether that's got. I think it's that injury, and I agree. He doesn't. Looking at him tonight, having a look at him a bit closely after all the comments, I agree. He doesn't look very healthy. He doesn't look right. And
actually, sorry, I just. Sorry to cut you off. I'll let you continue.
Right. I was going to say, just even looking in his eyes when he was bowling, like, might seem a bit strange, but he just didn't look confident or like he was all there. It was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I was literally going to say, like, because I remember he was coming off an injury coming into this season. So I just looked it up. It was another shoulder injury. But he also, I literally just Googled Jai Richardson injury, and there was a billion articles. The most recent one from a couple of months ago, there was an article saying, I just don't feel like a cricketer. And there's all this stuff saying he's like, lost his feeling of being a cricketer, all that kind of shit. Very similar to what, for what you were just saying. Like, you look in his eyes and like the whole feeling of him, he just doesn't have that aura at all. Like, you remember seeing him last year playing home games. He looked scary.
He looked like I mean,
but it's so, like, he didn't come into the BBL with shit form either. Like, he ticked all the boxes leading up to obviously the first round, and it was so nice to see that he bowled, like, in the Shield. He could bowl up to 20 overs a day and get through it, bowl it at pace, but still take wickets at the same time. And then as soon as he gets into the shorter format stuff, he turns into just pass. Terrible. Dinda Academy type operator. Just terrible.
Hopefully, whatever's going on.
You go, man.
Sorry, Naz. I was just going to say, hopefully we get to see him back at his best sometime soon, because at his best, he is such an electric bowler.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But It won't be when he's in my team because he's gone as soon as lockout happens. He is absolutely gone. It's been wonderful tonight, gentlemen. I think lastly, we'll lock in. We all basically said we're going Matt Short into some type of variation of Smudge or Sam's or even Maxi. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
And I also see Rashil just said, did he just say Dinder Academy? Absolutely, I did, my friend. Of course I did. I'm very cultured. Come on, let's not be narrow-minded.
What is Dinder Academy? Is that the old Indian bowler Ashok Dinder? Has that got something to do with him?
Yeah,
or is that completely different?
so Ashok, you know Ashok Dinder, of course you do, mate. He's
He played IPL as well, I remember, like 10, 15 years ago, right? Holy shit.
And pure shit. Absolutely disgusting. Dinder Academy. There's a fantastic page on X that they get stuck into all these pace bowlers, and whenever they do well, they say that they're excluded from the academy. But it's very good.
That's
it's
amazing.
very good. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
But just saw what you meant.
Before we say our goodbyes and thank yous, my goodness, the comments have been, look, literally 99% of these cannot be read out, but there's been a couple that, I mean, Corey always comes in with something sensible. Thunder give up the most points in a game with 384, so unsure that you want heaps. It's a very good talking point, depending on how your trades align, mate. I don't think I'm going to want more than 4 or 5 Thunder players. What else do we have? What happened to that second place fella? Well, he came second place because Langley beat him last year again. That's about it. Yes, Hobart is shit. Yes, we have gone over that. I would go short into Curran, as Curran has a great record against Thunder. And absolutely, Curran could be a definite trade-in option. He really, really does well against the Thunder. Will Matt Short end at 400K? Oh, absolutely he will. Absolutely. And he's still probably another 150K underpriced. So I think we're all just going to be paying the best part of 550, 670 for him next year.
An interesting point.
Stop sucking up. You didn't captain him.
If strikers have a double,
you start him. You start him regardless. That's it. But apart from that, just thank you. I mean, this seems to be some people have joined the Discord. John Smith, I think I know who this is. A sweet, sweet, cheeky little boy. How many games have you played, Nathan, to comment on Richo bowling? I won't say that last one. Well, mate, because you captained him, mate, and I'm fairly sure he scored absolutely next to chicken shit. So you live with that, my friend. You live with that. But thank you so much, Nakul from Wicky. Do you just want to give a shout out and just explain because I've used the website before and the tools on there are insane. Like it is just,
yeah, man.
I don't know how you got all the statistics for that or put it into a database, but just explain what it actually is, mate, and don't undersell yourself short. But before you do this, I just want to get this in. Comment of the evening, Liam Clark. Billy Framp owns Brisbane. Absolutely spot on. Thank you very much. But Nakul, please explain Wicky to us, mate.
Will do, man. And firstly, appreciate you guys having me on. It was really good fun, and I absolutely fucking love the comments. I didn't know what I was signing up for. I'll pay more attention to the comments next time, and I won't prepare at all because it's all right there.
No, absolutely, mate.
No, just for a little bit of context. So Wicky's actually my full-time gig. I've run this company for almost 4 years now. So all the tech stuff, I'm not techie at all. I've got 5 guys now. I've got 5 guys overseas, a couple of guys in Sydney with me. We've built everything that you see, the data tools, the articles, the podcasts, all that kind of stuff. They help me put it all together, mainly for NRL and cricket. But we are going to start doing a little bit of AFL stuff soon. We've also got some punting stuff for NFL and NBA. I do a podcast with Jacob from Tripod as well. But yeah, like my personal passion, I live in Sydney. I love NRL. I used to also love AFL. I've got to get back into it this year. And I've always been a massive fantasy and Supercoach player. I obviously love my punting as well. So all the stuff that we put together, whether it's a podcast, an article, data tools, all that kind of stuff, it's meant to help people like me who are just obsessed with sport and obsessed with fantasy, Supercoach, and punting. 99% of it is free. The only bit that's paid, and we had to make it paid, was the NRL try score, like really niche stuff. But everything else is free. And yeah, you can check it out all. If you just Google Wiki Linktree, you'll find links to all our social media, tools, content, etc. But no, it's good fun being on here.
No, thank you so much. NRL is a foreign language. I don't speak Spanish, mate, so I've got no idea about that kind of stuff. But Daz and Myth, they definitely know a lot about it. So it's very popular. But if you're looking,
I grew up a Swans fan. Don't worry.
Right. Yes. No. Understood. But listeners, if you're looking for any kind of edge over your competitors, whether that be in a head-to-head league or whatever it might be, check out the website. They literally have more stuff than you can describe, than you have time to look at. And honestly, you might be confused at the end of it because there is so much data. Just go in with knowing what you want to find out because it's fantastic. As always, thank you so much, Daz and Myth, for joining us tonight. It's been wonderful to have you guys. On again. You guys are the regulars. Nakul, thank you so much. It's been wonderful. We've gone a little bit longer tonight, but as usual, like and subscribe. We're always available on YouTube and Spotify. Join the Discord. I know a few people in the comments joined it tonight. Just jump in for your Supercoach discussion and your news. The link tree's in the bio. Just do what you can. Converse on Twitter. You can find me at ScobyBryant36. Always respectful, except when it comes to Carlton, because we hate those type of people. Daz, where can the listeners find you on Twitter, mate?
Mate, I'm on Slugs Piers is my Twitter name. I'm in the Discord. Just a couple of shout outs too. I'm in a league which is doing really well, coming first actually, 16-man league. They listen every pod. They're probably some of the comments out there tonight. But just a shout out to the Supercoach Playbook BBL Daz and Paulie Cup and Rusty Russell, who's 19th overall, killing it this year. So just a shout out to them. And just Wicky, mate, fantastic site. Stats, man, absolutely love it. So what I really liked though was you had it up there way before the season started. So I was in there for months beforehand, playing around, looking at stuff. So yeah, top shout out, mate. So anyone that hasn't looked at it, you like your stats or you want your stuff, go on. Fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. Cannot speak highly enough of it, and it saves you so much time as well. It's like, just look at it. Do yourself a favor. Stop being a pleb and look at the website. Myth, where can people find you at, mate?
Yeah, I'll just be slobbing around on the Discords, and that's just reminded me as well. I'll also give a little shout out to one of the blokes I think he might be in the hub, but he's definitely in Secret Society Discord, Jace, who may have had one of the roughest rounds I've seen, trading out both Jamie Overton and Ashton Agar, and then having Nikhil Chowdhury, Connolly, and McDermott all inaccessible on his bench.
Yeah, I feel much better.
Jesus. Yeah. Oh God.
So I think you're having an unlucky round. Yeah, feel for Jace.
Yep. No, well, yeah, I mean, this will sound very harsh, but I'm so fucking glad that's not me. Nakul, where can the listeners find you, mate, besides obviously the fantastic website, just to play around with the tools and whatnot? Where can they converse with you, mate?
Yeah, mate. The site is just wiki.ai, so wicky.ai. As I said, 99% of it is free, aside from really, really specific NRL try-scorer punting. But aside from that, if you just Google Wiki Linktree, just like you guys, you find all our socials, our Discord. Funnily enough, you said you're not a big NRL fan. I actually grew up a Swans AFL fan, but I got into NRL in the last few years, and a lot of the Wiki punting stuff is NRL-based. And we went from 300 to 3,000 people in the Discord in like 3 months last year. So join our Discord. We've actually got a thriving community now. And it's really awesome doing collabs like this because obviously, we've got a team doing all the data stuff. But the community that you guys have built in pods like this is something that we're sort of striving for. So I really appreciate the invite. It's been good fun.
No, thank you so much for coming on, mate. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully everyone in the chat was, I guess, keeping it above the waist. Some comments weren't, but I guess for all listeners that can't actually read the comments, that's a little bit of enticing appeal for you to actually jump in next time when we do go live at the end of next round. But just remember, we do have the AM show with Guns and Max Bryden, which will be on tomorrow. So jump in then. Please give us a like, subscribe, and also hopefully your Supercoach team does well, does better than mine, does better than Nakul's, does better than Daz's, and does better than Myth's. Have a fantastic night, everyone, and thank you so much for joining in.
Cheers, everyone. See you.
Thanks for having me.